Good day, everybody. Welcome back to OsO Valley. This is update number 28. Can't believe 28, really. Yeah, I hope you're all keeping well and safe and not going crazy in these crazy days. So I thought I'd bring a bit of sanity to your life and just talk about trains for a while. I haven't done an update for quite some time, and there's been numerous changes, as you know, that new section I put in over there. Because if you remember, I've sort of spun the whole layout around 90 degrees and it's all on the back wall now. So I've added an extra 185 centimeters, almost 2 meters in the middle. I've cut out, as you remember, I've cut out a section, which is why you can see the bare boards. Basically reduced the depth down to 60 centimeters there, where it used to be a meter or 100 centimeters. And I did the same there, and I just cut that into an angle along there. So bolted some legs in, move the legs, do all kinds of stuff. Bit of jiggery pokery with the center section there. That was good fun to do. And then since the last video as well, I think I've installed this top deck, and I did it the same as the rest. I just screwed and glued some reinforcing and some triangles and all that kind of stuff. It was quite difficult to do actually, because I was doing everything in situ, and of course this layout is freestanding. Because I didn't want to bolt anything to the wall in case I ever have to move it, or someone wants it, or whatever may happen. But you can see now it's just much more linear, much more interesting, not so compact. And when I get all the scenery in 2,000 years time, it'll be much nicer to look at rather than having loads of junk behind it. That is going. I do not like that mountain. That was an experiment, as you know, and it didn't work out very well. I call it the dog's dinner because it's just a mess, and it's going. And one of the reasons I can get rid of it flippantly without having to worry about things too much is because I've reduced the depth of my bench work. I have tons and tons of foam left over, lots of foam. So that's good. Talking about foam, changing the subject a little bit, I was bumbling around a DIY shop, or a do-it-yourself shop in Spain the other day called Leroy Merlin. Kind of like a B&Q or all those, and I came across some extruded polystyrene, which I've never come across before ever, and I nearly fell off my chair. And it's about 2 inches thick, 50 centimeters, which is the same thickness as these risers, these babies here. It's the same thickness as those, and yeah, it's really big sheets of it are something like €4.50, €5 each. It really was like. When I spotted it, I thought I've reached the promised line. Unfortunately, I had the small car. Well, we only have a small car, so I couldn't buy loads of sheets and bring it home with me. But I'll make a deal with my neighbor, borrow his big car or something, and go pick it up, because it's just so cheap and easy. I just can't believe I've spent years looking for it. I couldn't find it, and then when I do find it, it's cheaper than anywhere else I've ever seen it in the world. Anyway, that's Spain for you. Strange place. Anyway, so what I've done is I've just lined up the old track as it was to give you an idea. And to give you an idea of how much I've chopped away, if you remember, I used to have the board here. And in fact, these two lines were actually drawn in between these two. And all I've done is I've just put in a center section, or a couple of center sections there. All right. As you can see, I'm experimenting with track layouts. I've done some work on Rail Modeler Pro on my Mac. But at the moment, I'm just doing things visually, just having a look. So, this is where the old curve used to start, okay, which was attached to that stuff over there. So you can see that's how much extra I've gained. And of course, the top deck is much longer to match. So I'm messing around with different ideas for, bridges and scenery, and I don't know. I thought I had it planned out, but once, like everything else, once you get to look at it, you think, we can do that better, we can do that differently, oh, this will look great, that'll look great. So, but one of the things I have done, which is a real biggie, I've reduced the number of turnouts. I had so many turnouts, it was just, for the size of the layout, it was kind of ridiculous, really. So, I mean, I love, messing around in the yard and switching and all that kind of stuff, but it's as much about running trains and seeing them go around as it is switching, which is fine. We're all different, right? That's kind of my thing. A few more or less certainties. It used to be that if you wanted to, if your train was running around the top deck, it would sort of go around and then it would come around on this inside track and go through there pop out under there around the chair. So, and then if you wanted to go back down to the helix, we would switch it off just there, and it would run around the back, along there, sorry, excuse the mess, to this outside track, and then it would go down this hill rather steeply. That was going to be a tunnel, probably still will be a tunnel, which you won't see. And then it would go through this small local village yard, forestry yard, call it what you will, and then on down through to the helix. As you can see, I've removed the track. This is just leftover stuff. As you can see, I've removed the track because what I'm going to do is it'll still follow that outside lane, and I'll switch it to the outside track so it looks better, and it'll continue on there. And then when the train comes out from this tunnel here, I'll be able to switch it, and then so you can either continue around the loop on the top deck as normal, if you've seen my other videos, and then it'll go to the yard here. So it'll branch. So if you want to branch off and use the yard, or go back down the helix through what is effectively a reversing section, it'll go that way. Don't know, I might snake it in so you hide the track behind, so the foreground is just nice scenery and a big bridge and it looks nice, blah 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 blah. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, watch this space. There's lots of ideas in transit. What I do know is I've got tons of track left over, which is good. I'm also experimenting with this. I might put some lower bridges. This is still going to be city, still going to have a station here, city style station. Layout's going to be very similar, but I may hide tracks. I may put tracks behind big buildings. You know, I think there's always a danger where you just shove too much track in a small space. I think that's one of the keys I've seen to one of the more spectacular model railroads, whether they're HO, N, Z, whatever scale. You know, if you cram in too much track in a small space, it just doesn't look right. So the trestle bridge is staying. So we'll still be able to use a trestle bridge. It'll be live, but I think what I'm going to do is that's going to branch off as normal, go around here, and then rather than rejoin the inside loop, because obviously that now handles the inside loop, it's going to go off to some kind of mine or logging or something, because you can't see it under all this junk, but there's another turnout there, and I think I'll do away with that turnout. I don't know, I might keep it, we'll see, but this area will be logging, mining, something like that. But access to it will be across the trestle bridge. So the normal main line will not use a trestle bridge, because the trestle bridge is obviously, for the era, 1950s, will be old and kind of rickety. So that's my thought process on that one. And that's about it, really. I can't see this changing much. I might do away with this, but for now I'll keep it. I don't know. But that loop remains the same. The reverse loop, obviously, reverse loop starts there, goes along and round. Turnout is there. I might stick the turnout further up there, because there's plenty of track from that section all the way around. Obviously 2 tracks, which then goes back onto the main line here from this section. Toying with the idea of, originally I had some shorter pieces. Sorry about the darkness, by the way, the lights aren't reconnected on this section. These are half straights, and I've replaced them with what are effectively 3/4 straights, which are the Kato single bridges. I probably won't keep that. That was just experimenting with some different things. But all this is going to remain the same. The helix is going to remain the same. Oh, I did buy some, there you go, latest purchase, metal brackets for the helix. That's June's major purchase. That's good. Yeah, because I need to reinforce the helix and just tidy it up and get it ready for scenery and all that kind of stuff. That has got the potential, because I've got some spare turnouts. If I use that and run the loop underneath where you can't see it, and back to say here, I can have a fourth reversing loop. Because at the moment on the main line, I can switch from going west to east, but I can't switch going east to west, unless you go all the way up the helix and back down again, which is kind of annoying. So I don't know. If I can be bothered, I'll think about it. All right. The hole in this, I don't know if I've mentioned already, the hole in this wood is because that piece of wood was originally on top of foam on this top deck, because it was sort of slightly a lower deck. It was a slightly multi-layered lower deck, if you know what I mean. And to simplify things, I'm doing away with that. So, which is why I've got so much foam left over. Okay, guys. Yeah, no trains running yet. I've been really busy. We've got a lot of things happening here. The world is a fast changing place, and where we live, we're quite heavily affected by it fairly rapidly. So we've been busy doing things, boring things like paperwork for governments and all that kind of stuff. It's just, so I haven't had time to do many trains, but I wanted to do this update for you so you could see and just give you an idea, overview the layout. It's it just, for me anyway, it just looks a lot better. Yeah, there's my Napa hat. There you go. Boring story number one. That Napa hat, long time ago in 2012, we were visiting my father in the San Joaquin Valley because he's retired out there. He's 90 now, he's an old guy. Anyway, we were, the story behind that cap was that we were kicking our heels. We didn't know what to do for the day without realizing it was Valentine's Day. So myself and my wife and my dad went to the World Agricultural Expo in the San Joaquin Valley, where I got a free Napa baseball cap. And my wife has never ever forgiven me for it. So top tip, guys, for your wife, your girlfriend, if it's Valentine's Day, do not take her to the World Agricultural Expo. They have no sense of humor. Anyway, guys, you all take care. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient. But you can see I am making progress. It's looking a lot better. I'm even getting tidier, which is a good news. And you all take care of yourselves. Happy railroading. Thank you so much for your views and your subscriptions. I think I'm at about 230 now, which is, I know it's only 230, but for me, that's a big thing. I never expected to get so many people. This is just something to share model railroading with other people. Anyway, be good, take care, and we'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now.